welcome back. It's still Business Morning here on Channels Television, and we're discussing tourism now, especially how can we boost domestic activity instead of spending all of that money out there. That's what we'll be discussing. And we see, according to the federal government strategic blueprint, that they are targeting $500 million tourism market on Bonny Island. That's just one of the many plans. So that's the blueprint targeting $500 million tourism market. Right now, Continental Ranking has placed Nigeria as the second in Africa's hotel development rankings. The country can boast of 7,622 rooms across 50 pipeline hotels. Those are some of the things that we do have now when it comes to tourism in Nigeria, and we see the estimated revenue $12 billion. Key drivers: the diaspora spending, corporate summits, global events. Dirty December, I'm sure, fits into that. Annual domestic tourists between 5 to 7 million. State-backed regional festivals. Carnival Calabar is top on the list among others, and local coastal getaways, and annual international visitors is about 1.8 million for this year. And of course, they look forward to that Dirty December, ecotourism, and festivals. Hotel pipeline capacity, we saw that 7,622 rooms. So how do we fill up these rooms now? That's what we want to hear from Mr. Babalola Marufuddin. He's a project manager at Actors Globe. Mr. Marufuddin, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
So we have always say everything we have potential in this country. Tourism, of course, is part of it. Do you see intentionality in developing this tourism sector in the country, or we just whatever happens, we put the numbers out and start talking?
I think, from my opinion, there's no intentionality behind it. It's like a goose has landed on our lap and we're doing our best to exploit it, but we're not really putting in the efforts that takes us to the next level when it comes to tourism. When you compare Nigeria to the likes of Rwanda, you see how much effort they're putting into tourism. Nigeria is really not doing anything.
What will count for intentional efforts from your point of view?
From my point of view, take into example Rwanda once again as a case study. They've made their guerrilla work, they've made it especially scarce and expensive because they are chasing quality over quantity. So for a guerrilla work, it costs about $1,500 per permit, and they issue about 96 daily. They've invested heavily in marketing with major partners.
But if we increase the price now, you people will say we are chasing away customers.
I think if you increase the price and the business itself is self-sustaining, because there's no point in a subsidized price and in the next 3 years you can't actually benefit from it anymore.
Because we used to hear a whole lot about the cattle ranch.
Exactly.
We have a walkway there, long.
There's a cable right there.
Yes, which in fact the last time I went to that area I was advised don't even think about it because it's really dangerous at this time. So I guess that's what you mean by investing in it.
Exactly. So we need to not just invest in the tourist centers themselves, we need to invest heavily in marketing. Look at Rwanda, what they've done, partnering with major clubs all over the world. You see major footballers across the world wearing Visit Rwanda on their jerseys, and this is reminding everybody across the globe that you need to actually visit Rwanda. It shows that Rwanda is putting in the effort, they are investing in people visiting their country, and you can see that the guerrilla work itself is self-sustaining. They don't need investors to come and donate, they don't need the government to intervene. Over the years it has been sustained and it keeps going on, it keeps improving. But this is not the case in Nigeria, where we keep expecting the government to inject money into something. The next 5 years it is no longer functioning because there's
So who should be injecting the money?
I think, first of all, you can open it to the public or the government itself, but make it self-sustaining. So if you inject it once, you don't have to come back the next 5 years to invest again. Once you invest in a particular tourist center, make sure it is self-sustaining. Create the business plan where the business itself can fund itself. So you don't need to come and fund it every 5 years again.
But we have a very brilliant Minister of Tourism.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that.
So what are you saying, she's not thinking along this line or what?
Well, I think when it comes to tourism in Nigeria, we've focus so much on just Lagos and Abuja, and Nigeria is bigger than that. So Nigeria needs to expand and focus on other. We need to make flagship events out of cultural events like Calabar Carnival or Shosho,
which we have.
Exactly, which we already have. We just need to invest it, make it global, market it to people outside of the country so they can see the reason why they need to attend.
So, I mean, when you talk about self-sustaining and all of that, I did mention the issue with Calabar. And the truth is, if you wanted to go to that area now, the road there, or even transport, even if you wanted to do air, I mean, if you talk about Rwanda, traveling to Rwanda now is really easy.
Yes.
They have Rwanda Air in Nigeria, and they make it as cheap as possible.
Exactly.
So all those are encouraging you. Paperwork, asking for visa and all of that, they found ways around that. I guess these are the areas where Nigeria as a country, especially in the area of infrastructure to the sites and even the festivals, I guess these are things that we might need more attention and intentionality on.
Yes, definitely, I agree with you on that. But I think we have more pressing matters than infrastructures and accessibility, because first of all, you need to consider the things that are limiting people from visiting these tourist attraction centers in Nigeria. And number one is access, like you mentioned. Nigeria visa application process is so tedious and it's so expensive. We charge about $2,000 for visa in Nigeria compared to Ghana, where they charge just $1,000. South Africa, they charge just a little over $700. Rwanda, for example, they charge $124 for a 2-year permit. So first, the visa needs to be more affordable, and secondly, the process needs to be reformed, because in Nigeria the technical infrastructure behind the visa application process is so tedious and is completely unreliable. So you can get to the embassy and they tell you they ran out of visa stickers and things like that. So they need to find a way to resolve these things before thinking about the infrastructure. Think about countries like Cairo. They have terrible road network, but you don't hear that about them because it's easy to get there. It's easy to, I think that's the smallest part. When you can find your way to the place and you forget the routes, how it took you to get there. When you're in the moment, you actually forget everything that it took you to get there. But imagine after going all through the stress of accessibility to get to the location in Nigeria and realize that the infrastructure is not even well maintained, it's not so convenient, you can't actually do what you came here to do, what has been marketed online. Let's say, for example, the cable ride in Obudukato Ranch, you get there and the cable ride is not functioning, and that's exactly the reason why you came there. The frustration of the road network, everything will just accumulate together and you almost explode because you spend so much, and then upon getting there you still cannot achieve what you actually set out for. So I think these are things that we need to focus on. First is security, and the second is accessibility. So the visa should be reformed. The process, even if it's going to be expensive, let it be convenient for people to apply, so you don't have to go through a reasonable.
But we have visa on arrival now. I hear that's easy. I've not used it before.
Yes. Since 2024, it has been announced. The policy has been announced for visa on arrival and visa free entry for about 17 African countries. But the implementation has not followed up with the same energy that they used to announce. So these things are easy to say on paper, but people that actually go through the process, foreigners that are coming into Nigeria, they go through unimaginable stress when they are trying to get their visa on arrival. So I think about a couple of weeks ago, there was a video trending online of a lady that traveled to Nigeria and hoping to get her visa on arrival, and she was sent back to her country. So I think these are things that we need to put into factor before we even talk about the infrastructure part. Of course, infrastructure is very important, but first you need to be able to access the infrastructure that you're looking for. So I think Nigeria, the government should focus more on that first, and then they can tackle the infrastructure later.
And these are jobs being lost. When we talk about unemployment in Nigeria, the tourism has the potential to create huge number of jobs.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, and it's even way beyond just accommodation or hotel, because the tourism market is so wide now that you can work as a content creator, making storytelling videos about tourist locations. You can make video guide, destination content creation. You can even work as a middleman for booking platforms or for logistics services, and you find the audience yourself, act as a middleman, take your commission, and then hand them over to the original service providers. So there are lots of jobs on the table if the tourism market is actually functioning that people can actually benefit from. So I think, yes, I totally agree with you. There's huge gap of job opportunity that's being left on the table with the not so functioning tourism market.
Not so functioning. Thank you so much for your time, Abalola Marufudin. He is the project manager at the Actors Globe. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll go global. Please stay with us.